how this works.
But yes, hello, we are live. We are live with Foray in the Forest, and from what DM has said, oh boy, everybody better have their tissues. But yeah, we're not ready for that. We have to do introductions. And since we go in alphabetical order and I'm already talking and I'm first in the list, so hi everybody, I'm Danny Boop, and I play Miki, the Salwet Owl Kinku monk, who actually did show some anger last session. Like legit anger. So, hey, there's that.
Yes. I am Ash, or Jim, whatever you want to call me. I play Annabelle, the human artificer. She's currently under the effects of one shadowy boy. So yeah, just getting that sorted out.
You make weird friends. You need to stop making weird friends.
No.
Yes. It's hurting your health.
Now listen, honey, if I was worried about my health when it comes to making friends, I would just stay and work on potions all day.
You know. God damn it all.
But nah, I'll stand next to an anvil that's on fire. That's fine.
You have issues. Stop having issues.
I
I
can't.
need
I
to make
can't
the
help
people
that.
who have.
Can
No,
I introduce myself, please?
Never.
You were still muted, so I was trying to give you a chance.
It's okay. This squabble can happen later.
No.
Um, I am Obsi, or Small, and I play Torgrim, the dwarf fighter. And he kind of chopped a guy in half last session.
You've done that on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
It is not the first time.
I roll really stupid well sometimes.
It is not the first time you've done this, nor will it probably be the last.
Is the power of
Let's
Torgrim's
see.
halberd.
Let's see. I split two guys in half and I decapitated one.
As you do. Well then, the final introduction.
Oh yeah, that's right. I exist. Keep forgetting
Yeah.
that.
You gotta do that thing that's called existing. It's a real pain, but
It's so boring though. Hi, I'm Night Hunter. I do this. I'm the DM for D&D, and for some reason these people want to keep playing this game. It confuses me. No end.
I both enjoy this world and need more time to write stuff for the two games that I run.
Listen, I mean, while that is fair, why? Why?
Because I like it, Night Hunter.
Can we not?
I mean, I could not, but that would take effort on your part.
I mean, fair enough. Oh boy. So I'm gonna preface this with saying sorry in advance. This is gonna be a lot of just me talking to myself. Yay.
Yeah, we've got an exposition episode ahead of us.
Hey, you're the one who wanted to go into his head.
Yes.
This is on you.
Yes.
If you don't like long drawn out episodes about a singular character, or not so much about a singular character, but learning about a single character, blame Ash.
Hey, I want to know more about one of the clearly most important NPCs we've been presented with in this world.
Hashtag make him suffer. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about someone else.
Nah. He's
Yes.
talking about his tiny brain baby.
Listen. I might be. But anywho. Oh my god, a train. Why?
I'm sorry.
Why else do you do this?
I can't help that.
Punch the train. Suplex the train. Be Sabbath!
What? Okay then. Alright, so.
I'm almost done with the link bombing. I just have to do the one on Twitter now and we're good to go.
for anyone just joining us, this is a very interesting episode to come in on. Um, for context's sake, you know what? Probably be covering the recap. So just be ready for everything to go horribly wrong.
It always does.
Except for those few times where it goes exactly right and you question if God was flubbing his rolls.
Looks down at some of the natural 20s. Man, you don't know. You don't fucking know. I don't even know. And I'm the one rolling these things. Who knows? I don't.
Looks at other D&D streams where natural 20s and natural 1s happen at least 9 times every episode.
I mean, yeah. But anywho. Are we all set?
I believe so.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Just go have me a sip of water.
Get that sip. Listen to your inner snap mall and get your sip.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Grave Cleric he played for a 2-part game. Lizard folk. What was it? Wasn't Snapmaw based off of a Great Jagras?
Yes.
Look-wise. So yeah, lizard folk based off of a Great Jagras.
Last we left off, the party reconvened at the tavern and was asked by Tacitus to make their way up to Annabelle's room, where they found the sight of Silren in a straitjacket, slowly rocking himself back and forth and muttering things under his breath while Annabelle was currently attempting to cradle him. After Annabelle explained what she was hoping to do, and Tacitus giving a little bit more clarification on it, the party agreed to do it, some begrudgingly, and began to stand watch just in case outside and within the room. After a little bit of time passed, Annabelle, Silren, and Tacitus sufficiently went unconscious, and the two, being Annabelle and Tacitus, went into the prince's memories. While the rest of the party was standing guard outside, two of them were struck with these strange darts that seemed to electrocute them very briefly. Identifying that they were under attack, they began to wait and contemplate where their attackers were. After a few moments of unsure, shall we say, unsure assailants, not knowing where their location is or how many, the party began to get a little antsy and proceed to move around, and then began to be accosted by a several number of. During the fight, the wall that Torgrim was standing near exploded, and two of the assassins that were hiding in the next room over came through, ran in, and shot both Tacitus and the prince. Tacitus not being impacted by the bullet from the gun that they had fired, but a small shadowy orb seemed to envelop the bullet. After a large, shall we say, a large amount of collateral damage occurred from certain choices, the players finished off the assassins, one of which uttering the words, "See you later, Sarge," and vanishing before Oleg. The party afterwards began to lick their wounds and reconvene in the room. However, we will not be starting there. We will be rolling it back up until the point of
gosh darn. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, sorry. I suddenly couldn't hear anyone, so.
So, Annabelle. After asking Tacitus to proceed with the thing he does of being weird, a shadowy tendril begins to reach up and press itself against your head, and you suddenly fall unconscious, lying down into the bed, still holding onto the prince. As everyone looks, they see that same shadow go into the prince's head. Tacitus, his eyes roll back, and from the bottom of his feet, small bubbles of black, like ichor, begin to seep upward. Annabelle, I need you to roll a. Let's see, what was it? Need you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
All right then. First roll of the night. Let's see if it's bad or terrible. It's terrible.
Okay.
Well, I was glad I set up this whole thing and perfectly ready for it to literally not happen now. I didn't know rolls would be involved in this.
Okay. So, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I have everything on the right page. Your vision, after going black, the tendril of shadow entering into your head, it begins to return to you. You begin to see a small white chamber. It's about 40 or so feet. It's barren. No doors. No windows. But you do see 7 items sitting atop small pedestals made of redwood.
She's just looking around right now. What are the 7 items?
The 7 items. Sorry about that. The first one you see is a small statuette made out of what appears to be some sort of very light stone, gray stone. It's a statuette of a family, a mother, a father, and a child. There are no real discerning features, but the way it looks, it very much resembles that of a family. The next one is a training sword. Its blade is long, but it is dull toward the edges, so not to cause harm to those it hits. The third item is a large tree, resembling that of ones you would see as you would come into the burning forest, actually. Next to it, you see what appears to be a throne of a very strange look to it. It's not well carved out in terms of its depiction, but you can clearly tell it is a throne of some sort. The next item you see is a statuette of a very small owl bear. Across from it, a statuette of a cage. And then the last one you see roll an intelligence check for me. Because this one's a little bit harder to make out what it is exactly.
15.
This is looking like a stake or a tent pole of some sort. You're not exactly sure. It just looks like a piece of wood. But from what you understand, this possibly is a fresh memory because it's not as clearly defined as some of the other ones. And you hear a voice from behind you. Okay, we're here.
How does Annabelle actually feel right now?
You feel you feel slightly like something might be off. You're not 100% sure. It is a bit colder in this room. But
She's
other than
gonna.
that, in what form are you meaning? Like what do you mean by how is she feeling specifically?
Well, it's like. I assume she has physicality to her right now.
Yes, you do have a
Okay.
body to you.
Okay. You never know with these dream sequences. So, just gonna turn around and I guess she's gonna see Tacitus.
Correct. You do see what you think is Tacitus. I do have an image. I want to make sure I barely saved it because it was a little kind of weird when I first did it, but I think it should be fine. And yes, it is. So, Annabelle, you turn around and you see this.
She's just gonna nod. Just like, well.
And he's just kind of floating there. And he just kind of pulls up a hand and just kind of waves at you. Hi. Like his mouth obviously is not moving, as you can tell, but
She just sort of looks at him and then in her head is processing, just like, well, don't know what I expected. Honestly, not surprised.
yeah, here we are. It just kind of floats around. He's hovering about like a good 1.5 feet off the ground. Those little trails of smoke and wisp.
Alright then. So she just looks around again, just, I guess these are something I can use to look at the prince's memories.
These are certain memories that he has. Yeah, pretty much. They're, well, I'm actually
Strong.
not sure. I've never been into them. I was specifically told not really to do this, but
Well, I'm glad that you can be persuaded with several boar carcasses.
listen, guys
And-
gotta eat.
Several boar carcasses and a request for assistance from a friend.
Yeah.
What is the closest item to her right now?
The closest one would be that statuette. That was in the line. The way I read them off to you, the statuette of the family, the training sword, so on and so forth, is how close they are.
Okay.
It's the sequence of how close they are.
So, are they all just along one wall, or is it just like in time? That's like one on one side, one on the other, then another, and another, and another.
It's the one on one side. That statuette is right in front.
Gotcha.
About 4 or 5 feet across diagonally is the next one, and then so on and so forth. It's pretty much going every other on the wall inside this chamber.
She's kind of looking at these, like trying to piece together in her head. Just kind of looks like this is a progression of memories. Tacitus,
Yeah,
do you know if these are in order?
probably. I mean, I can try moving them around if you want to have some randomness. He floats over to the one at the
Please
throne.
don't.
But I'm kind of curious now.
Well,
It's kind of like staring at it.
We'll get to that one, Tacitus. I just want to make sure I have the story right, and if I want the story right, I don't want it out of order.
I mean, you don't have to go through all of them, really.
Tacitus, I'm not going to have you drag me into another person's brain to half do something.
Listen, again, you're the one who wanted to come in here.
Yeah,
I didn't make you. He kind
yeah.
of flips around again.
Well, I guess I'll start at the beginning. She walks over to the statue of the family. I guess I probably just touch this. As she reaches her hand out and tries to pick it up.
Alright, as soon as you touch it, your vision goes dark again. You hear what appear to be what sounds like birds. You begin to see a courtyard in somewhere probably further within the palace. And as your vision begins to come back to you, you see two figures. One is an elderly gentleman in a robe. In front of that elderly gentleman, you see a young child, the mop of messy, dark hair. What do you do?
Again, I still have a body, don't I? This isn't just like I'm
Correct.
floating looking at this.
Correct. You still have a body.
Alright. She's going to step forward and see if she can hear what's happening.
Okay. As you begin to kind of step forward to follow them, you begin to hear the beginning of a new conversation. Now, young lord, pay attention. The children that you will be seeing today and that are being brought before you are going to end up being your personal guards. Not to think of them as friends or family. You are not to acquire personal relationships with them. Then you notice that the young child, about 5 years old, is a very young prince. Soren. But why not? I don't want any more guards. I want friends. It's lonely in the palace. They begin to continue to walk forward, now exiting the corridor and walking out into the actual courtyard, making their way into the kind of dirt-covered floor. And you do notice that it is actually. I don't think you would need to roll on this. It's very similar to the training area you were in, the training courtyard you were in
Gotcha.
when you fought Prince. Not the same one, but similar, smaller.
For the sake of not needing to roll anything, if you just want to base it off this, Annabelle has a passive investigation of 21 and a passive perception of 19.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
She's very good at noticing things.
Okay, yeah, you would easily notice that this is some form of a training courtyard. Not exactly the such grand size, given that he's not as tall, probably can't move as fast. The elderly gentleman looks back to him. Young lord, if you are to become a ruler, you must learn to accept the harsher realities, as have these children. Their parents have sworn them to serve you until death or dismissal on your order. And with that, he claps his hands twice, and you begin to see 12 families step through the archway, one child for each set of parents. As they approach, the older man and the younger prince Each parent gives a bow and then ushers their child forward. The children line up in front of the prince, standing at attention and not moving. Parents leave, pass through the archway back into the city. The children remain there. Now, please tell the young lord your names. You begin to see child after child speaking their names aloud. One of which catches your ear. Felix, young lord. The child bows. There's a brief moment of eye contact between the two of them. Then the others continue to speak their name again. After the children have all spoken, the elder claps twice more, and then two autumn guard, full gear, armor, and weapons, appear from that corridor you came from, and as well as the elderly gentleman, and then begin to bring the children to their resting quarters and new home, barracks. And then you hear something. Brother, come. Father wishes to speak with you. Do you turn to the voice?
She's at least going. The thing is, her eyes are never quite leaving Silwern for very long, but she will at least turn to see who the source of this voice is.
So you see a slender elf. A very similar look to a present-day Silwyn. You see him smiling, gesturing for the young prince to follow him.
Does he follow?
He does. He kind of bows to the elder bows back, and then the prince turns around, kind of runs over toward his newly revealed brother. The two begin to walk away. As they do, the memory in front of you is slowly darker.
I'm guessing that as it darkens, I sort of come back to in the first chamber.
Correct. You come back standing in front of the statuette.
Tacitus.
Yeah. He's kind of floating, staring at the throne still.
I'll
He's
get to
now
that
upside.
one.
He's now upside down, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'll get to that one, Tacitus. The prince had a brother.
Hmm?
Well, I assume you just saw what just happened.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't touch the thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of thought I was seeing all this through you, so...
Oh no, I brought you in here. That doesn't mean I'm seeing everything. If I touch that, I might see it. I don't know.
Oh,
I've
fair
never
enough.
tried.
Fair enough. But my question still stands. Prince had a brother?
He kind of shrugs. I don't know. I haven't asked. If he did, he doesn't talk about him.
That fills me with a sense of foreboding. Looking at the training sword as the next item. Alright. We'll see the throne soon enough, Tacitus, but I've got to see this all through. Says
Okay.
as she goes over and takes the handle of the training sword.
Alright. I'll be here. And then as you hear that last bit, you grip the sword. Your vision again goes dark. You begin to hear, again, birds. And then you also hear the sound of metal clanging against each other. your vision comes back. It's the same courtyard, but there have been a few changes. There's a fresh line of paint forming a circle in which you see inside of this large circle those same 12 children, now grown a few years, bigger, with weapons in their hands, forming another circle, and inside you see the prince. No weapon. You see that everyone else has a training sword. The prince is probably a year or two older now. But you also notice that his hair is longer. His lip is split open. His left eye swollen shut. Again, with no weapons in his hand. And you hear from behind you a voice. Again! The voice cries out, emanating from the same person you saw earlier. Prince's brother. And at this, the prince looks up at the yell, and you see 3 of the children move closer, swinging outward. He moves, ducking out of the way of one of the swings, swatting down another, but then he doesn't account for the third person. He gets struck in the back. He falls. A little bit of blood kind of dripping from his mouth. It looks like the other children are moving back into the dimensions. That's not good enough, little brother. Felix! And he looks at the person who struck him. You brought him down. Take your minute break. The child, who you now see as an older Felix, looks at the prince with... Roll an insight check.
$21.
You see on his face disappointment, as well as a little bit of pity. As he walks outside of the circle, getting a drink from his water skin, and sitting down for a moment. You hear a cry out behind you. Assess your enemies and use your speed to outmaneuver them. Assassins won't care if you are young or without a weapon. They want you dead. They'll do whatever it takes to kill you. This time, fight back. Again. This time, 5 of the children rush forward. And you can see in their face, they're hoping to knock him down, get a blowout. The prince sees this. Like the flick of a switch, he moves. He blocks the first strike by hitting the child's wrist with his palm, disarming him. Then, with one fluid motion, he grabs that sword. You see him swing wide to block out 2 more strikes, elbowing one of the other children in the sternum and kicking the leg out of another. He headbutts the 4th kid, and you see that kid go down, and his nose is broken. And then he pivots with his grounded leg, swings his body, and uses his other leg to roundhouse the other child, one whose sword he took. All the children that went after him are now on the ground, groaning and in a lot of pain. He's kind of looking there, and back and forth, looking to his brother. Still sloppy. And he turns to the 12 children. Get cleaned up and prepare for your classes. Brother, head to the Arcanum. It's study time. Do you do anything?
She's going to actually turn and look at who she knows now to be Silrin's brother. And just for a moment, at least while Silrin's still in the room, she's just going to study his face.
The prince's brother.
Yes.
Study it how?
Like, she's trying to get to the point where if she saw this person, she could recognize him.
Okay. In order to do that, proper, and to memorize his face specifically, go ahead and make an intelligence check.
All right.
Because as you are doing this, the memory is not stopping.
Yeah, that's why I said she's not going to do this for long enough to let Silverin get out of eyesight.
Yeah. So go ahead and make that intelligence.
It's only a 13.
You have a few key features down. His eyes are not blue like the prince's. They are of a strange golden color. His hair is actually cut short, like much shorter, and it looks like this man has not slept for at least 3 days. It's not like he's disheveled, but you can see where there are kind of dark rings underneath where his eyes are. He's still looking proper and such, but it's very noticeable that this person seems quite tired. Right. Similarly tired to a state that you are actually quite familiar with for a certain someone.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. She just mutters under her breath, so they just work you all hard, don't they?
As the children begin to get up and brush themselves off, you see a young Felix looking toward the prince, putting the training sword over his shoulder, almost as if he's trying to stare him down. Eye contact is made, and the future guards proceed into the palace. The prince moving in the other direction.
Can I actually... I know I incited it earlier, but could I actually incite that to see if that's hostile?
Go for it.
Or just trying to get a feel for what is trying to be conveyed there. Because if I remember rightly, in the future, when she knew Felix and the prince's relationship, they were friends, I believe.
You can incite it.
It's a 12. It's a day for poor rolls.
It's either he is hostile or this is... You know how in high school some of the jocks would try and be like the quote-unquote alpha to the other jocks? Kind of.
So he's just trying to be macho.
Yeah. It's either he's legitimately angry at the prince, or he's just trying to be like show off, top dog style.
She makes a mental note of that, and then quickly heads to follow the prince's path.
As you begin to follow it, your vision darkens again as you enter into that corridor. And you're back. White room.
Tacitus?
Yeah.
I know probably nothing's going to come of this, just by asking, but...
Yeah.
How, if any, how many of the prince's original guard are still alive?
2.
Which ones?
I don't know. I don't know their names. They just don't look at me when I am walking around, and I don't really talk with them. They're kind of stationed in the throne room nowadays, and I usually just follow him. And him being the prince. He just kind of like lying on his back in the room, and he's just kind of like, you can tell he's like halfway in the ground, halfway not, or halfway at the bottom of the chamber.
Just casually melting.
Yeah, kind of.
Alright, Tacitus. There's certainly more boars in it for you if you can maybe find out their names for me.
I can't do that while I'm here. And he begins
I'm
to.
just saying, in the future.
He looks like he's trying to make a snow angel in this mind room, and it's not going well, but it looks like he's still trying nonetheless.
Tacitus, you are just a precious little demon dog shadow monster creature.
I'm not really a dog so much as you know what a lobotomy is?
I do, and that is not a creature.
Think
That is
of
surgery.
I know. Think if that happened. Think if that happened to somebody, but they missed. That's what happened to me. So I'm not really a dog. I'm just fucking weird. Still making that snow angel. While he's doing that, he's like sinking back into the ground.
Do I have my items on me?
No, you do not. You have no items whatsoever.
Okay, so I can't.
None of your items have. It is just just your person.
Gotcha.
Here. So you have no bag, no healing potions, none of that.
Well, she's just gonna sort of half smile at Tacitus and just shake her head, just like, all right. That's another topic we can dive into at a later date.
Maybe. We'll see.
Tacitus, I'm too curious of a person to leave that alone.
That's you're assuming I'll let you know what's going on. Or what everything's happening with.
I'm not assuming you'll let me know. I'm assuming that maybe I could find out. We'll see. Future reference.
Sinks into the ground. It's just gone now, by the way.
Yeah, I figured. She's gonna walk over to the large tree and just put her hand on its trunk.
As you begin to put your hand on the trunk, vision, just like before, like every one of these, fades. But then it gets brighter. It seems to be like daylight. And you are in one of the large trees. Not in the training yard. But you are still within the palace grounds.
So if I remember rightly, you said this was actually like one of the burning forest trees where it's the constant red.
Correct. And do you look around?
Well, yeah, she's always got her head on like a swivel. Especially right now.
Now 16 years old, you would roughly. Sitting on a large branch, your head resting against a tree. And you hear a sound of footsteps on thick tree branches. And you see the prince beginning to slowly climb his way up the tree. And they stop. The prince is slightly taken aback, as he isn't sure what to make of this. He kind of does the whole, jut the chin, weird nod thing. Shouldn't you be at combat training? He asks to Felix. Lord Commander gave me the day off, seeing as I already fought and beat the rest of them. Aren't you supposed to be at your tactics lessons? You can kind of feel that bit of slight aggression. The prince begins to pull himself up onto the branch. I snuck out. And the two kind of look at each other briefly. Bit of an awkward silence. Felix gets up, kind of brushes off the back of his pants. I should probably head back. And as he begins to make his way off, you hear the prince. Wait! And you see the prince grabs Felix's hand. Could you help me with combat training? Help me practice at least? It's a bit of a silence again. Well, you could use it. Just getting a little tired of all the breaks during the combat sessions. Fine. 11 o'clock, training yard. I guess you can bring a sword to practice with. Now, could you let go of my hand, please? The prince lets go. Sorry. And Felix begins to climb down the tree. The prince just kind of sits there. Kind of scoots himself back so his back is on the trunk of the tree and he puts his head back. He sits and smiles to himself for a bit. And you can see, for one of the first times, the prince actually smiling.
Just sort of looks down towards. I assume she can still see Felix leaving.
Yes. You see Felix begin to kind of turn back slightly. And then continue inside.
You strong meant a lot to the prince, didn't you? She's just gonna turn back to looking at Silrin, and she's kind of assuming that the vision is going to fade here soon, but she's still keeping her eyes on what's happening around her.
Him kind of close his eyes. This is a deep inhale. Deep exhale. Breeze begins to kind of pass through the tree. And you see him begin to pull something out of his back pocket. It was a small little sketchbook. Begin to open it up. A broken piece of pencil. Begin to kind of work on something.
Can she actually get closer and try to see what he's drawing?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, so she's gonna try that.
Your body is in these memories, so you can physically move around to try and do something, but you just can't go past a certain point because obviously they don't have
the limit of the memory.
Yeah, it's the limit of the memory. They don't have don't know everything that's going on. So you begin to look. I imagine you begin to try and look at the sketchbook.
Yeah, that was less of a question of can I move and more of a question of can I actually physically get around to see it.
Yes, you can. You can kind of crane your neck around to see it. And surprisingly good drawings. It looks like there are two figures. You know how when a lot of artists will kind of warm up, they'll do just like the circles for bodies,
Hmm.
kind of general practice. You see that type of a thing, and it looks like two people are fighting with swords, almost like fencing. And you can see it kind of progress further down, and it begins to kind of take more shape and more form. You see actual people, not like well-defined features and such, but kind of a little bit more polished as it goes on. But then the swords are gone, and it looks like it's starting to transition to a sort of dance. And you begin to see, the further down you go, a little bit of a resemblance to two people. One of which is currently holding the sketchbook. Vision begins to fade.
And the other of which was currently walking away, I'm assuming.
Yes. And then you are back in the room.
Annabelle's a little stuck there for a moment. So you really meant a lot to the prince, I see. I mean, she hates to be the one to jump to conclusions, but that seems at least the start of something. Tacitus, come out of the ground. We're going to the one you wanted to see now.
He's not there.
She just sort of looks around for a second.
You see in the corner. Roll. Hmm. 1 second. I need to.
Alright. Just gonna open a drink real quick.
You see in the corner, back toward where you started and you came in, a weird. You remember as your vision was fading, these weird kind of black bubbles of liquid and form around Tacitus, and you see one in the corner of the. It's beginning to bubble, and you see it begin to kind of cave in on itself. And you see dripping. It's beginning to drip. And where it's dripping, you begin to see red. Red.
She's just looking. Something about that ain't right. I don't feel like I'll be able to stay in here too much longer. Well, I'll stop and then. Tacitus, sorry ahead of time. You might miss this one. I know you wanted to see it. As she puts her hand on the throne.
So you begin to put your hand on the throne. It begins to slowly stop. And you begin to see something. As the light comes back to your vision, you see a large, grand throne room. Floor is made out of marble with designs. The large trees, like the one you were in, embedded into the floor, and inlaid into the stone with melted rose gold. Large globes of light float roughly 70 feet in the air above you. There's currently 6 of them, 2 on each side of the grand hall, draping the room in a most vibrant, sunny hue, as if it were midday outside. The room is filled with dozens of people, possibly nobles or other members of the royal court. You actually recognize a face among them. You recognize the human face of Toro crowd, and you see sitting atop the throne, made of what you could guess is a fossilized tree, the king. Standing to his side, you see Sullivan's brother, and in front of them, looking to the ground, not meeting their gaze, is now older Silver. Roughly, you could imagine, probably 18, 19 years old.
Does there seem to be a celebration going on, or is this like a tribunal?
This looks to be a tribunal.
Alright. She's going to actually sort of move to the side, like not stepping up to be next to Silverin exactly, but move to the side to where maybe she could overhear if anyone else is speaking at the same time as whatever is being said publicly is being said.
No one is speaking. There's a dead silence in the air.
Yeah. Kind of figured, but best to be safe.
The king kind of stares at Prince. In bed with one of your guard initiates. Care to explain? Prince just kind of slowly, his eyes kind of rising. Father, I don't. Need I remind you that you are the one who has been chosen to continue on the family line. You are the only son that's able to bear the new generation of our family. It's not my fault that you made that deal, Father. My fault that Anduil can't bear children now. What does you want me to say? That I'm sorry? I'm sorry I fell in love with someone? And at that the crowd begins to murmur and whisper to each other. Much of which you can't make out because there's too much noise. As the crowd begins to kind of, their volume begin to pick up, the king stands up and the globes of light that are burning above you begin to burn brightly as if they were set ablaze. Bright like the sun. The silence is all.
Everybody a little bit.
Where do you want me to?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Am I good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Where did I start the robot?
The globe started to glow.
The globes begin to burn brightly, as if set ablaze like the sun itself, and it silences all the murmur. The king stands tall for a few moments, the globes still burning heavily. Leave us, he says to the court. Everyone inside begins to file out of the church doors, and after a few moments, it's just the prince and the king. No one else. As you see the guards pull the door closed. The large latch echoing throughout the chamber. You see the king close his eyes, about to sigh and sit back into his chair. And as he does so, the globes go from the bright burning red to a cool and slightly calming blue. Son. Please. And he gestures for Prince to come forward. As the prince does so, he kind of steps forward, his head lowered again. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry to have disappointed you. You begin to see him start to cry a little bit. And the prince, just still not meeting his gaze, you hear from the king, I'm not disappointed that you did it. I'm disappointed that you didn't tell me that it had to come out like this. Prince looks up at this. You can see a little bit of hopefulness in his eyes. A few tears still kind of streaking his face. This will take time to repair, but it can be done. But next time, just don't keep that hidden. Yeah, yes, Father. You may go, son. Thank you, Father. And the prince bows, turns, begins to walk away. And as he does so, you begin to see the king reach into his inside robe pocket, pull something out. He presses something, and the item that he pulled out begins to open. He just kind of stares into it, the smile on his own face.
Can I step closer to see what the item is?
Yes. It's a locket. Do you do anything else?
I mean, Annabelle would try to look into the locket, but at the same token, I don't think I'd see what's in it.
Actually, you would, because it is something the prince knows of.
Oh, alright.
But it's just not something that he would have seen go on.
Okay.
But you would still be able to see it. It's a
Alright.
picture of the king. Very young. The king's wife. But not a wood elf like the prince. Her skin is very pale, her hair almost very golden color. Her eyes golden yellow as well. The memory begins to get darker.
As the memory's getting... Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was just going to say, as the memory's getting darker, can I see how the prince's brother is reacting to this?
The prince's brother is not in there. He was told to leave.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he left with everyone else.
He left just like everyone else. It was just those two.
Gotcha. Just making sure about that one. I didn't.
Yeah.
But retroactively, can I try to get a gauge for how the prince's brother reacted to this knowledge?
I'll say with disadvantage because he left quick. He left very quickly.
I mean, just that kind of gives me some inkling anyways. But That's
You're
the
not
third.
sure.
That's
It's very much a he left quickly. You don't know why. There were too many people to get a good read on, other
yeah,
than the fact that he left kind of quickly.
yeah. For the sake
But
of
you're
those, just sorry.
oh, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for the sake of those listening to the stream, of the mini rolls I've done this session so far, or of the like 6, 7 rolls I've done this session so far, 2 of them have been natural ones. I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. The dice just hate me.
But, everything hates me. Let's be real.
Hey.
Uh, you come back the chamber, and you see Tacitus. He looks like his normal self. However, there's
There's a what?
a hole in his chest about the size of a quarter, just in his chest, in his like through his clothes. He's kind of it's like poking it with a finger. Ow! 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 Ow!
I'm gonna poke it. Yeah,
Um,
that don't look good.
Do you like actually poke it?
I mean, it's Annabelle, so let's be honest, she probably would.
It feels like your finger is touching a block of ice.
That don't look good.
Yeah, this is what happens if I get hurt. I think your friends might be having some issues.
Probably, but they can take care of themselves, and I'm assuming they can take care of us too.
It kind of points up at the ceiling.
I'll look up.
You see a red spot dripping down from the ceiling.
She's gonna like touch herself to see if she has suffered from any wounds.
You do not have any wounds currently. However, if you would try and put 2 and 2 together,
Yes, something's happening outside.
and there's a very good chance that Tacitus, the prince, might be hurt in some capacity.
She's just gonna look at him. Just, it'll be fine. I left them with all of my healing supplies.
It's not them I'm really worried about.
I'm
Points back up.
I mean that in the sense of they can fix up if either of us, like if any of us get hurt.
I mean,
Like literally, I left them with so many healing supplies.
you assume they're smart enough to use them.
I told them to use them.
That doesn't mean they're actually going to.
Well, we're not dead yet, and I'm not backing out.
I mean, fair enough. Kind of keeps poking the hole, and it's just, ow. Ow. Ow.
I hate to be the person to say this, Tacitus, but I shoved poison down the prince's throat and then threw acid into his open and exposed spine, and he's not dead, so...
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah, I still feel really bad about that. But
He kind of walks funny now. I've noticed that.
he'll get better
Keeps poking
eventually.
chest. Ow.
I'm gonna look at the next memory now. By the way, I saw the thing inside the throne. You were gone for it.
Oh.
How long have you known the Prince, Tacitus?
Huh. I've known him about 5 or so weeks. Maybe a little more. I really don't, sleep. So I don't know what, days are.
I'm gonna estimate you've probably known him for at least less than a year.
I have definitely not known him for a year.
Gotcha. Barely 2 months from the sounds of it.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't known you for longer than a year.
I know. It's more of a question. It's more of just asking that for the sake of if you know what's happening here in there.
No, I have no fucking clue.
Okay, well,
I
I can't stop you from looking at it, but it seemed like a kind of private matter.
well, it hasn't stopped you.
Tacitus, I'm a nosy bitch by nature. I know that.
I mean, fair enough.
It's about who the prince loves. I'll say that much. As she starts walking towards the next statue of the owlbear.
Oh, I didn't think he was able to do that. Oh,
Oh no, he's definitely able to, but I don't think the world wants to let him. As she puts her hand on the owlbear.
alright. You think Tess is about to say something, but your vision fades before that. You don't hear him.
Taz is about to drop some metagaming knowledge.
God.
Hey, if any character breaks the fourth wall, it would be Tacitus.
I mean, you're not wrong. Still, let's not. You find yourself outside once more, but you're kind of stopped. You see something. You see a familiar sight. You see that same carriage, coach, that the prince was in when you met him. In this area, the forest is very familiar. This is in between Steel Harbor and Burning Forest. Same spot. You embarked on this strange journey. And you see Felix dismounting his owlbear and entering into that same carriage. You see only a handful of other guards with him. Not very many. What do you do?
As he is dismounting and heading towards the carriage, I want to listen to see if any of the other guards have any kind of under the breath vocal reactions
To what exactly?
to him getting into the carriage.
No, they seem to be just stopped, kind of surveying the area. They look to be still at the ready, and they look to be like a couple of them have hands on their spears still and just kind of like surveying the area. They seem not to care. And they
All right, then.
honestly seem like they might know anyways.
Yeah. And just now that Annabelle knows that, she's keeping an eye out for reactions. And she's going to, I don't know if she could actually like open the door and step inside the carriage alongside.
Okay. As you begin to enter in, you see Felix kind of put a hand on someone's shoulder. And you see him looking at a map of the surrounding area and lands that are under the jurisdiction of the kingdom. And just by look at Soren, you can tell he's tired. He's exhausted, just like you saw him earlier. We'll find him. Don't worry. This is just kind of. bother sending any troops to look for Anduil. He didn't do anything to look for his own son. All we know is that Anduil left with 100-some retainers and hasn't been seen since. We've been searching for weeks now, Prince says, kind of outlining everywhere on the map that they have searched. And you can see in the map about 30 to 40 pins as to places that they've searched. And you see Felix move over and kind of lean over the table that's inside here and kind of point at the map. And you see a familiar town. Milvo. You hear Felix. We did get word. Might have been seen around here. I suggest we head that direction and take a... And you hear a loud series of roaring. And screams, shouting in a different language, a mix of barks and guttural words. The two of them look to each other, and then they quickly gather their weapons from a storage area inside of the carriage. Immediately afterwards, they exit the door, and you see these large, muscular beings, patches of fur and chunks of sheet metal sticking out of their skin. These beings are roughly 8 to 9 feet tall, but the one that's more prominent is 10 feet, if not more, wielding a very jagged looking, so it looks like it's been haphazardly cut, metallic slab, and sharpened sort of. And I actually have a picture to show of her.
Taps fingers in anticipation.
You see this. And then begins to open his mouth. You can see inside of his mouth 3 rows of sharp, serrated teeth. He begins to run, and he brings down his blade, cleaving 2 of the guards in half with what seems to be no effort. Another one of the guards is just taken by the head and thrown down into the ground. This thing's another one, not the 10-foot one, but another one close to it. Its hand cupping around the head of the guard and just slamming him into the ground, turning him into a giant mess of red. Another one of these things is just currently pummeling the owlbears and beating them down, swinging into the multitude and cutting them down. 2 more come barreling out of the woods, ramming themselves into the carriage and shattering it to splinters. After the cart has been destroyed, you see they're going to turn their attention to the opposite. To stop, begin to encircle the remaining members of this caravan. The prince swings his sword and it connects with one of the figure's flesh, but only scratches the surface of it. Felix attempts to fight, but is beaten down quickly, and he is thrown against the other 2 guards that are kind of standing. The beasts begin to encircle the last 4 members of this convoy. Out of nowhere, a hail of darts begin to fly, strike the remaining members. Which you can only imagine those darts being tipped with some sort of... Your vision begins to fade as the prince's eyes close. You look back in the...
It's another time where Annabelle, she slowly looks to the cage she can see as the next item. I think I have an idea of what's happening there.
And at this point in time, we are actually going to go to break. So,
Alright.
5-10 minute break, everybody.
Alrighty.
Oh boy.
oh,
Knight, you have come close to making me tear up.
don't you worry. Those tears are gonna go everywhere.
Don't worry,
I was
the
about
the,
to
lit-
say,
the literal nail for the coffin is the last item.
Well,
I was about to
I have
say.
tissues at the ready, and when I put out the Twitter link, I did say have your tissues ready. So
I enjoy making people sad. So I'll be right back. Take 5, everyone.
yeah.
Alrighty then.
Yeah,
I'll
everybody else take a pee break, and anybody watching, now would be your time to go take a pee break. And if you're watching if you're watching the VOD later on YouTube, yeah, now's the point where you want to pause to go break or anything like that. So we'll be back in 5 to 10 people.
Or basically just skip forward to get to where the actual thing starts playing. Guess I'll stick here with the Twitch crowd, see if anyone's saying anything. I hope if we've got any watchers that they are enjoying everything. There's quite a bit going on in this session. Quite a bit. I'm just gonna sit here eating some jelly beans while wait for everyone else to get back. Juicy pear flavored jelly beans, they're quite good. Just like here on Night Hunter.
Hi! Back.
Welcome back, Night Hunter.
So, how are we liking this so far?
Thus far, I'm enjoying it. As a fellow DM myself, I enjoy the tearing of the hearts of the people that watch.
Good. Good. So how's everyone else?
I think everyone else is still on their break.
Oh no, I'm here, just
Okay.
rolling dice for the heck of it.
So, how are we enjoying it?
Oh, I like this. I'm just waiting till we get to the better parts.
Ouch. Okay.
I didn't mean it that way, but I really
I guess
Night.
what I
Night.
guess
I-
all of this I can just throw away.
No,
All right.
No, Knight, I mean that as in the parts that are really gonna make us cry. Because I want to see if you can make me cry.
The parts of the show where it makes our eyeballs juicy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
God.
see eyeballs, anyone?
Can we not? Can we not talk about that?
But no, I'm definitely thoroughly enjoying this exposition. Not only for the prince, but also for the world at large. Because it's giving a lot of inklings into personal things. And Anna's just over here like, oh, Prince, you're more relatable than you think you are. Can everyone still hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Alright
Yep.
then. Just making sure because my microphone and headset's been wanting to goof up here lately. But yeah. Annabelle is definitely feeling a bit of kinship towards the prince right now. For certain reasons.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I'm just over here like, I am very excited, but also at the same time, the realization is hitting me as a player. It has not hit Annabelle yet. But the fact that the prince is going to have to react to the fact that Annabelle now knows all this.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact, you didn't ask him whether or not you could do this.
No. Annabelle doesn't ask, she does.
And you did you I hope you imagine there might be some consequence.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Your compliance is not a factor.
Excuse you.
I'm healing you. I don't need your permission. I'm
Oh.
healing you.
You'll see that there's a lot you'd have to heal, and I don't think even if you made a drought every day of your life, you couldn't do this. You can't heal this. Good luck though.
It's not a question of physically healing it because the physicality
I
can be
know,
healed with a single casting.
I know, I'm aware. Where
The physical trauma is not the question. The mental
No.
trauma is what takes time. And while Annabelle may not be able to fix everything, she wants to help. Why? Because to quote Annabelle, she's a nosy bitch by nature. And also, to quote Annabelle again, she is cursed with hospitality. Which no one has questioned.
So I hope people are enjoying it.
I do too.
People are having fun.
I'm having all kinds of fun. Oh, since I got you back though, can I get a clarification on how to spell the Prince's brother's name, the Amdul?
I will spell it in the game chat.
Thank you.
It's a very familiar spelling for those who are Rings fans.
Okay. I was very close.
Yes.
I had an E.
Ah.
I gotta find a meme to share on this server. Basically, the situation Annabelle is having with Tacitus and the prince. Saw a video for it earlier. There it is.
Why does Discord still think I'm playing Minecraft?
Because it's just like, what if you were playing Minecraft instead of causing the pain of many other people?
Listen, I can't really cause the pain of many other people. I can try. I'll just fail at it.
Here, this is the video that is accurate. Also, warning for you, it's kind of loud.
Oh, good. No. What the actual fuck is this?
Why?
Why?
It is a...
Why did you... Where do you find this?
I have my sources.
Oh my god, I love that fucking video so much.
For the sake of those in the stream, I've just linked a video of the Eric Andre show bit from that is the Let me in! Let
Let
me
me,
in!
let me
But it's
in. Let
terribly
me in.
but it's terribly distorted through like a wobbly voice filter, and it sounds about as awful as you might imagine.
So very.
Okay, I'm back.
So, Danny, how's it going?
Good. I let my dog out to use the bathroom as well because if I get a break, he gets a break.
That's fair. So,
But
how are
he,
you how are you enjoying this session?
you have made me almost tear up,
Oh, don't worry.
but I'm loving it.
Don't worry. Are we ready to keep the pain train rolling?
I must eat
Yep.
a few more jelly beans.
Very well.
I'm ready to start back up whenever everyone else is.
I hear
Jelly
that
beans have been
train coming.
consumed.
It's coming round the bend. I ain't seen some happiness since I don't know when. If anyone knows that's the actual song,
I know it's Johnny Cash.
Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash. Wonderful song. Anywho, back at it.
So I better hit my mute button so the stream doesn't hear the click clack of my knitting needles.
So,
Annabelle's just like, oh boy, this is where things are about to get serious. Where is Tacitus right now?
you see him kind of slumped in the corner. Roll a medicine check.
I'm okay. Actually, technically, I'm not okay at these. For some reason, I'm not proficient in medicine checks.
You don't know what, but something is wrong with Tacitus. He looks like he's withered, and it looks like his shadow around his actual body is receding.
Tacitus?
Well, his eyes kind of flicker up to you, but they look like they're about to roll back every now and then. Why? Why?
You just resting? Or
I don't feel that good. Did you put that stuff you gave to Prince and his noodles in my food?
I did not, very specifically.
Oh, okay then. Every time he's talking, his face begins to kind of looks like he's kind of receding, like drying up slightly.
Are you gonna be okay to let me see the last two memories?
No, I can't stop you from viewing the last memories. But
I mean to get us back out of here, Tacitus.
oh yeah, I'll be fine. But something's not good out there. I think something happened. And
Let me finish this, Tacitus, and I'll fix you right up.
okay, you owe me a horse.
Tacitus, I will buy you at least 2 horses, and the next criminal that I have to kill, I will try to take alive so you can eat him.
You see him cough, and you see some of that black ichor just kind of come out of the side of his.
Gosh darn, I wish I had my supplies right now. Also, why am I not trained in medicine? That's actually like a serious note. Why is Annabelle not trained in medicine?
I don't know. Why have you not gotten a proficiency in medicine yet.
Probably because I usually make potions, not physically treat people. I just make the stuff that makes them better, not diagnose the issue. Which is still weird considering I'm gonna have to look into that. Alright. That's for future though. So she's been slightly reassured that Tacitus is going to be able to make it. She's not super sure, but she's got to see this through. She's going to go over to the statue of the cage.
Okay.
And place her hand tentatively on the bars.
It is cold to the touch. The white light sucked out. Field of view. You hear sound of water dripping. Fun fact, a little bit of meta. I would have had these things prepared, but apparently something wants to take all of my audio clips away. Anywho.
Hey, you've had enough of them prepared for it to work.
I couldn't find any decent ones other than this. So I really don't want to import anything just in case.
Okay.
Copyright issues, but anyway.
Your descriptions have been doing well enough, my friend.
You hear the sound of water dripping. The light that comes in to your view is dimmer. You seem to be underground somewhere. You look around. You're in a large cavern. And you see a series of cages. Look in one. You see Felix. Another one holds one of the autumn guards. Another one holds another guard in the cage. All of these being separate. They're bound and they're gagged. Very bloody, very beaten. Then you look and you see Silren, Prince of the Burning Forest, locked up in an iron cage, bound and gagged, like a common criminal. You see the prince looking around. Steps. Still very dark inside. And hear a familiar voice. I was wondering if anyone would bother coming for me. And here you are. Out of the shadows. You see Anduil, but he looks different. His once golden hair, now dark, almost black. Eyes devoid of color, and in his veins, you see a very dark, ichor-like color.
She's getting flashbacks to what she saw whenever they defeated Celio.
Here, as he begins to just slowly walk over the cage containing his brother. Stand, arms behind his back. Hello, baby brother. It's so good to see you again. Smile. You can see the Anduil's teeth are now sharper. I bet you're wondering why you're here. And I bet you're wondering why I let these ones, he kind of gestures to the others. Why I let them live. Reason being, I needed some new... kind of taps his fingers together. Shall we call them test subjects? And the stronger the better. Looks over to Felix, who is currently glaring at Anduil. He's trying to burn him alive with his gaze.
Fair.
And he did note something. Oh. He kind of turns back to the prince. What's this? He walks over to the cage. I see a little something interesting. Certain finger, and he kind of taps on his own hand. The ring finger. And you will notice Felix and the prince both wearing rings. Still a sword swallower, I see. Of course. Anywho. And to think father wanted you to carry on the family. Kind of tilts his head to the side and says, bring in the vial. Here. Some sort of barking growls. And you see two gnolls come in, both wearing plate armor, walking in and handing him a small vial. This vial looks exactly like one you saw in the basement of a certain church. Now, little brother, I'm going to remove a pesky gag from you. We are going to have a little chat. Endo gets up, opens the cage, enters inside, and removes the gag from the prince's mouth. Why do this? We're coming to find you. Coming to bring you home. Do you really think I want to go back with you? Why would I want that? To be your babysitter, like I've been for your life. To make sure you're worthless guards. And he kind of looks over there. Do their job. By the way, he turns to the other three. You did a horrible job. Absolutely dreadful. But don't worry. I'll have a use for you. He turns back to the prince. What do you want with us? And he kind of leans over Prince. I want to test your mettle. He uncorks the vial, pulls from his hip out of a small pouch a syringe, and he kind of puts it into the top because fill it, and you begin to see the liquid just easily get up into this syringe. This liquid has been synthesized by combining lycanthrope, wolfsbane, steroidal drugs, and a few anticoagulants. We use it to enhance some of our more, shall we say, capable warriors. And at the snap of his fingers, you see those large beasts kind of step out from an air. The ones that attack the convoy. And these wonderful specimens, little experiment of my own, the body reconstruction, a little bit of transmutation magic can do wonders. Applied properly. However, takes the syringe out and just kind of tosses the ball. He kind of steps back out of the door, turns around on the ball of his heel, walks over the open door of Felix's cage, injects the liquid into his nose. Still staring at the prince as he does this. Sick little grin on his face. Now then, I'm going to give you a to say farewell. He smiles, turns to the other two. Feed these ones to the beasts. They must be hungry after today. They did well. The two guards are then pulled out of their cages and dragged to the cave. You see the beasts that attacked the convoy walk forward, pulling them by binds. And you hear screaming. Sounds of what tearing flesh being pulled from bone. In silence. Andrew just staring at the prince. All this happens. You can see visibly that the prince is a little shaken at this. Not used to it. Not used to people he knows being killed in such a horrible manner.
Yeah. Right now, I'm assuming even if Annabelle were to try to physically interact with anything, she was very specifically told she can't do
You were
anything
very
for this.
specifically told that you cannot interact with anything other
Yes,
than just by look or hearing.
Yeah, so she's just... Her nails are like digging into the skin of her hands. So I guess that answers why the prince is like this. I guess I'll see that soon enough. Alright. And she
And
just
then-
keeps watching.
And then you see the smile begin to kind of bigger on Anduel's face. Bring the two lovebirds to the pit. My test is going to finish there. And he begins to walk out. You see them being dragged away. Your memory without vision being pulled out.
I'm gonna immediately look towards Tacitus.
He's still in this kind of state, but he's shaking.
Just one more, Tacitus. Like, Annabelle at this moment is shaking herself.
He's kind of like 1,000 yards staring into.
I know. I gotta see this through, Tacitus. I definitely know what's probably gotta be done next, though. I feel so bad for putting Tacitus through this, but it's Annabelle. She would see this through. So she's going to go over to the stake, the pin, whatever it is, and take it in hand.
As you touch it, do you notice something toward the bottom of it? It is a ring. It looks like there is some sort of camera. As you touch it, your vision fades. Final flash brings you to a large fighting pit. Just like the one in the palace. On one side, you see Silrin, free of his bindings, restraints. On the other, his veins from the point where that needle impacted him, going up into his head, down into his chest. Anduel walks into the middle of the ring.
Yeah. Sorry, Knight.
Yeah.
I kind of got the sense of what you were saying, but you did cut out right after you said the prince was unbound.
Oh. The prince free from his bindings. On the other side of the pit is Felix, who's still restrained, his skin peeling, sweat on his brow, and small spasms rippling through his body. Anduil walks into the middle of the ring, smile on his face, looks directly at the prince. Looks over to Felix. So, given by those rings on your hands, you're engaged. Congratulations, but not married yet. So sad. But I think I can fix that. And at that moment, you see two figures begin to step out. Both of these figures are cloaked, hoods drawn over their heads. You can't see them. Both of which remove the rings on their hands, dropping them to the floor. They settle into the dust, and you see new ones being put on. Annabelle, you recognize the ring. It's the ring that was on the stake. And you hear, now that the new rings have been placed upon your fingers, and just like the wedding that father had and his father before him, you two are bound in holy matrimony, now and always. And then he begins to walk over to the prince. And you see him pull something out. A silver stake. And he puts it in the prince's hand, and you can hear the firm placing of it in his hand. Annabelle, I would like you to roll an Arcana check, please.
Okay, that I am trained in. Let's see how I do. That's a 19.
As this is happening, you can hear the muttering spell. You are familiar with this spell.
Is it the spell ceremony?
It is the spell Dominate Person,
Oh.
and it looks like it has taken effect.
It's a very different spell than I was expecting.
You do hear the two figures, however, finishing the ceremony spell. And he looks to the prince. He smiles. In my personal opinion, I think you are unfit to rule. I know you're unfit. You wish to be a good king for your people. You wish to treat them with kindness and care. However, you have yet to be able to prove any form of strength or the ability to harm and kill when needed. You are unfit, and father shouldn't have chosen you for his heir. It should have been me on that throne. It should have been me and my wife to carry on the family name. But no, he wants you. Ripped me away from the love of so that he could put you on the throne. What have you done for him? I've seen our siblings die. I have bled in the dirt for him. And what did you do? Sat in your room and read your little books. Well, he places a hand on the prince's shoulder. It kind of turns towards Felix. Kill him. Prove your worth and I'll let you leave. But you have to do it quickly, because if he gets out of those, and he points to the strains well, he'll probably kill you. Either way, I get to have my own little fun. The choice is yours, however. I'll be watching. No funny business. And then he begins to step away and leave. Are you going to do anything? I'm just going to stand and watch this.
I'm thinking. Is he leaving the room?
No, he's stepping back and out. He's stepping away from this. He's moving up some stairs in order to sit down, get a better view of this. And you do see another figure there. Can't make out who they are. You can't make out who they are. They're too far away, and they are cloaked as well. However, it doesn't look like one of the two that just cast ceremony. Looks like somebody else.
I'm guessing it looks like, even if I were to get up close to there, that's not in the prince's memory what
That's
that
not-
person looks like.
No, that's barely in his peripheral. Anduel has sat in a spot where you can still see him because he is a part of this, but that figure seems to be obscured by something else as well. Not just by the fact that he's a little too far away, but something else is keeping him from being seen.
Okay. Annabelle is going to stand to the side of the pit close to Anduel, knowing that since this is a memory, if she hears Anduel say anything, she may not understand because she doubts someone was. But she still wants the chance that if she could overhear anything, she would. But her focus is still on.
You're roboting.
How am I now?
Better.
Annabelle is currently. She's standing off to the side of the pit near to where Anduel headed up to sit.
Okay.
Knowing that even though if he does say something, it's probably not what the prince was paying attention to. So maybe not in the prince's memory, but if there's anything to overhear, she wants to hear it.
Okay.
But otherwise, she is paying attention to what she knows is about to happen.
Real quick, what languages do you know?
I know Elvish, Dwarven, and Common.
Okay. A language is spoken, but you don't know what it is. Anduel says something first. Then the figure. And silence. All the while, the prince is being forced towards where his now husband is.
Annabelle just watches. She knows she can't assist in this situation, so she doesn't have much of a choice.
You hear the prince's breath quivering every time he takes a step forward, the stake being raised. Tears on his face. As he gets closer, he's right in front of Felix. And you hear him say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Felix looks at him. Some tears in his eyes, a smile on his face. I know. Remember, and I love you. Now and always. And the prince looks back at him, nodding, now and always. And he slides the stake slowly to his heart. And then the vision fades. You hear, as it trails out, and you are back in front of that stake room. And on that ring, at the bottom of that stake, now see engraved, now and always.
Tacitus,
Mm-hmm.
can you get us out?
And he kind of gestures for you to come over to him.
She lingers for a second, still processing everything she just saw before moving quickly over to Tacitus. All right,
All
buddy,
right.
let's go get you fixed up.
And he taps your forehead. As soon as his fingers are placed on your head, you wake up back in the room. However, this is where that Constitution saving throw comes about.
Do I not remember anything?
No, you feel like you have been running for 3 days. Your legs feel like jelly.
Well,
You
I'm
feel
sitting
like you're
down, so
going
that's
to-
fine.
You feel like you're gonna throw up, and you actually did kind of throw up a little bit. Just a little bit. Also, you now have some trauma to your chest. So does
Oh,
the
yeah.
prince and
Oh,
Tacitus.
Yeah, it wasn't great. We got exploded.
Yeah. You come
that's why-
to. Oh, go ahead.
That's why I initially questioned, did Annabelle feel like she got hurt? Because it's just
No.
like, she did get hurt while they were in there. I.e. why she's on 16 HP.
Oh no, you didn't feel it.
Okay, that's why I was curious.
That's what that con save was. That was to determine whether or not you were gonna feel anything.
Oh,
well as
so it
whether or not
all
you were-
hits me at once.
Yeah, it all hits you at once.
Just, oh, oh
Yeah.
god.
Pretty much, yeah. That. So
Oh,
everything.
that actually hurt my stomach.
Yeah. So everything, all the pain hits you. You come to and you see friends are bloody a little bit. A lot of which is other people's blood. There's a hole, 15-foot hole in that wall there. That window's broken. The door is also busted, and there's like some screaming.
What the fuck?
We'll explain later. Are you okay?
No, but it's not important right now, as she's keeping the prince against her, but like scooting herself over to Tacitus.
Fun fact, all. Currently, Tacitus has some black ichor pouring out of his mouth and chest,
I'm gonna
and
try
he's
to
starting
do
to
one
have
of
a
the things again.
and he is starting to have a seizure.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
Annabelle, how do I do this?
She's already working.
That's where we're gonna end the session for tonight.
Oh no.
I guess that's fair because we don't have Jack.
We don't have the Aussie. We kind of need him for some of this stuff.
The issue is, though, I don't think we're gonna have him the next few weeks even.
Yeah, he's god awfully busy.
I'll talk to him and we'll see. But yeah, that was fun, right?
It was. I
what-
love that a lot.
Luckily, Annabelle has materials for which to deal with many types of poisoning and many types of healing.
Hell of a honeymoon, huh?
Oh, I know.
Thumbs up.
Night,
That's not really a honeymoon.
Night.
Well,
I love you
yeah.
as a friend, but fuck you.
I knew I was going to get someone with this. I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna fucking hurt.
I've got a one-liner prepared for when we fight and duel.
If
It's a win. If he's not dead, it's a win.
Anyway.
That was a lot of goddamn notes I took. Holy shit.
so, who did I get anyone?
Danny.
Yeah, I'll admit, a tear ran down my face.
Ha ha! Gotcha.
I'm just
Not
over here
me.
like, this is impressive. This is good writing.
How is it
Yeah.
impressive? This was like horrible. How many times I was like, no, this is how it would probably happen. Erases. No, this is probably
Well-
erases 3 paragraphs. No, this isn't more.
Things that
Yeah,
are horrible can also be impressive, my friend.
Yeah, you can write like things, shitty things that happen to people and still make it good.
As you've told me before with some of my writing night, shitty things happen to good people.
This is why he is so adamant about properly training.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I
Yeah.
understood that there was a lot going on there to why he needed to train before. But now she's understanding the more emotional side of things.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, you know 2 things now. 1, you know what Tassus actually fucking looks like. 2, you know what giant things exist in this world. Thumbs up.
What giant things?
Yeah, the giant, 7, 8 feet to 10 feet tall creatures that
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
can crush through a carriage with ease and cut people in half. And
I mean, we kind of already knew those existed.
did you though?
We were very specifically told they existed.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
I just now know what they look like.
Yeah. Those are fun. They're real fun. 3 rows of teeth. Anywho.
But, yeah.
I told you to have tissues ready.
Well, I had mine at the ready. I hope anybody who was watching all of that had theirs at the ready.
Everything sucks.
Yeah, my favorite part about writing this was they are supposed to hate this person. My job is complete. I am needed elsewhere. Lies away.
After we end the stream, I want to tell you about the one-liner I've just thought up.
Is it? Are you going to tell him that he's going to be swallowing your sword?
After the stream.
Listen.
Anyway. Well, since stream is over with, then shall we do our normal thing of wrap up and chilling?
Yes, let us do our goodbyes and our shilly shills.
Okay, since I am the streamer, I think I'll go last. Night, do you have anything you would like to announce? Because I know that Ash, unless you want to talk about this upcoming Thursday, there's nothing for you to bring up.
I mean, technically, I also have to announce the other Tuesday game because I run that one. Unless Knight wants to announce it because he streams it.
Oh shit. I just want to make sure on my thing. Oh shit. My emotes got approved, so I have emotes now. So that makes me happy. Oh
That's
boy.
awesome.
Clapping for you caused me physical pain, Night Hunter.
I'm sorry. Why does it cause you pain?
I strained a muscle in my chest earlier today, and when I brought my arms up to clap it made it pulse.
Oof. But yeah, I have a nya emote and a cane emote, which are wonderful. They were drawn by Ori, or Tired Vampire on Twitter. Commissions are open, by the way.
And her art is
Yeah.
amazing. You should commission her.
Yes, holy crap, it's really good. But yeah, I have emotes now, and I will be possibly streaming some stuff tomorrow. More than likely, it'll be like the Isle or Minecraft, mainly because those games are just nice to play. Because
Nice chill
relaxing.
games.
Yeah, pretty much. But
I'd
yeah,
join you on some Minecraft if you have a server set up.
I don't have a server myself, but the one I play on is a private server that someone has.
Sadness.
So
Yeah, figure something out.
yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, that's me.
All right. Ash, do you want to go ahead and take care of just the content of the next 2 streams because you're the DM for them, and then Night and I will give the times and the channels?
Sounds about right. All right then. Later on in this week, we will be having our typical Thursday game. Now finally picking up with me as the current and until the foreseeable future long-standing DM, where we will be going into the Scattered Realms campaign setting I have been quite some time. It shall be interesting. They're on a boat. We'll see how they fare in that one. And next week, as we typically alternate on Tuesdays now, we will be going back to our intrepid reclaimers, who are about to fight the first boss.
Which I might have to speak with about that. I might not be able to be in for a bit on that because my parents are actually coming to visit. That I found out.
We can always start later if things don't work out properly.
That's true.
Yeah. Which, bearing whatever happens with that one, we should stream. We may not, just depending on if we have enough people to actually play the day. If we're missing 2 people, I don't want to play because then. Shilling.
You know, it might help if I had my mic unmuted.
Yeah, that helps.
Oh,
But yes, for all of that, for the Scattered Realms, that will be on my channel this Thursday at 7 p.m. EST, which I believe is 4 p.m. PST.
sorry, you're gonna have to run that back me
Something.
one more time.
7 p.m. EST.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's 4 p.m. here. Should be 4 p.m. here.
Okay, so yeah.
Shh.
And then
Time zones are weird.
yes, they are. They have
Time zones
they
That
have-
that antiquated thing that that we all still use for some reason.
Well, it's daylight savings that's antiquated. Time zones make more sense because of, the sun.
Eh. It's either day or night. Make your mind up.
But yes, Scattered Realms will be on this channel this Thursday at 7 p.m. EST, and the players will be myself, Armored Hunter, Mythosia, and Andy.
Along with the addition of a new player to our group, who goes by Failsy.
Yes.
Another Aussie.
Yes.
Should be fun.
Yes, both games now have Aussies in them.
Yes.
And then, Knight, if you would like to say when the stream should be next week for Neoterra.
Yeah. So long as nothing gets so long as like I'm not out having dinner with my family, at 6 p.m. PST, that should be 9 p.m. EST for you guys. We'll be doing Neoterra boss fight. I had a chest burster in me, and that's not horrifying because I don't get terrified of things like that at all. Like at all.
It wasn't a chest burster. It was gonna puppeteer your body.
Listen,
Chest
that's
bursters
even
leave. That doesn't.
is concerned about eating food. Okay, great. Thanks.
Hey, you made this happen. I made that happen. Which one
I
of us is
mean,
worse?
fair enough.
And Small, do you have anything?
Sadly, I do not. I just play here on Tuesdays every other week.
Eh, one of these days that you'll have some, even if it's just like you find something cool that you want to shout out and be like, "Hey, go check this thing out because it's amazing."
One day.
But until then, you are best dwarf.
Yeah!
I have so many plans now. This makes me happy.
All right, but I think with that, that's probably where we're going to have to end it for the week.
Yeah. Because I want to play whenever I want to get this back going when everyone's here. Because,
Yeah,
kind of needed since you're all in the same room, not unconscious or anything.
Yeah, and please don't kill the good weird boy.
I make no promises.
I fix.
Uh, you assume you can fix.
Well, I assume he got shot with poison, and I have things that very specifically stop poison.
You assume you can. You assume you can fix.
I assume you shouldn't. Never mind. After stream.
Can always give it the good old college try.
I'll shove mushrooms into his body. We'll see what happens.
Oh God! Stop shoving things into people's orifices. All right, it's not okay. You
He
need
has.
to ask. You
he
have
ha-
to ask first.
He has a new orifice I can shove things in.
Oh god. Okay. All right. I think that's a good place to just have everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Up to the elbow.
Good night, and we'll see y'all later on this week, and then yeah, all that good stuff. Goodbye.